Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of our Claws and Fangs and Revolvers, our Werewolf of the Wild West Chronicle. I'm the Ravnos Archon. My name is Will. I'll be storyteller this evening. And last, we left off with our Guru pack. We opened up with Ardyce biting down on the hand that was holding her up. They exchanged a few of the bites, and they learned the benefits of being a metis that are very few and far between, but they definitely have some um, pros on the con list to counteract their very hefty loss of Peru society. But we shifted over to Kora and walks with spirits as they were leaving the Gilded Apples, and they could hear Ardyce's yell since she got to use one of her gifts finally. And we got to see a little bit of the Galliard come out. They rushed off, and then we got to see a little bit of a strange, different kind of combat. Since Guru tend to be on top of the food chain, it was interesting to see what happens when they are confronted with silver, especially given this time period that we're in right now. It is very deadly. It is almost life threatening, if not life altering. And we got to see that there were some people who wanted to take Ardyce back to the home country. Uh, Among them, someone with a bit of a Scottish accent, someone with a Cockney accent, um, and someone that was moving inhumanly fast, that was armed with silver bullets. But they learned that Ardyce might have a lineage to the Black Spiral Dancers, which is even worse of a position to be in, given that she's a metis. Uh, but they managed to see the bounty hunters emerge from the Umbra as the Naga and his partner managed to kill the Black Spiral Dancer, and only Kora got to see that this bounty hunter's partner, the female, is actually an Anansi, uh, and they pulled the Black Spiral into the Umbra where they disposed of them. And right as they were about to finish their business, they offered to kill Ardyce because of her lineage, which Kora fought back against. There was a discussion about the purpose of the Guru and how if keeping her alive was their choice, then that would have to end the relationship with the bounty hunters. To which Kora begrudgingly accepted those terms, and with a quaint and friendly, amicable exit, the two bounty hunters left the scene. And we got to see Ardyce, Kora, and Walks with Spirits come back to the Gilded Apple. And on the way back, Kora noticed that there was a level of festivities at the Gold Digger that was a little more than casual. And one of the faces in the establishment that she noticed was talking with and drinking with Lucius, uh, but it was the banker that was shooting the silver bullets at them. And we left off with them returning to the Gilded Apple for the rest of the evening. And this is where we're going to pick up with our lovely pack of wolves. Good to see all of you again. It's been so long.
Has been a minute.
Yeah, but life gets in the way.
Mhm.
But now we're here. You got your sad face on. You got
My
your
little
dumb,
tear.
yeah, and you got your dumb bitch juice.
I do. I'm gonna feature it.
You gonna feature
It's
it?
on Etsy. Look at it.
Do it.
Dumb bitch juice.
Dumb bitch juice.
Dumb bitch juice.
So, we pick up with you coming into the Gilded Apple. Garrett is behind the bar. There's a couple of people kind of winding down their evening. It's just after midnight. A couple of the girls are still hanging off of the rails, kind of leaning over, you know, presenting themselves upstairs. And Layla comes over to you guys. He goes, uh, Cora, if I could pull you aside for a minute.
What happened now?
I don't I and she starts to take you upstairs to the room that you had given Pepe,
Mm-hmm.
and she opens the door and she says, "So, what do you see? Because I see a fucking empty room, right?"
I look
And
around.
it is an empty room.
Like, everything?
No, no. It is devoid of any living people. Uh, the place looks like it's been cleaned up somewhat, but definitely all of Pepe's stuff is gone. And like the room actually smells clean.
Wow. Who did it?
That's that's what I wanted to ask you about, because none of the girls said that they came in here, cleaned the place.
We were busy dealing with Ardyce deciding to walk by herself somewhere.
Right? Well,
So it wasn't any of us. I didn't order anyone to do it. I didn't ask.
um, it gets weirder, and she goes over to the window, and as she motions for you to follow her, the closer you get to the window, the more it smells of violets and lilac.
Flowers.
Right? Lilacs for sure, but there's something else there that I don't recognize.
Violets.
That's what it fucking is.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Do I recognize this perfume, storyteller?
A lot of the girls here will use lilac, but nobody uses the combination of lilac and violets. Especially nobody at the Gold Digger, and they're fancy, fancy.
Mm-hmm. Some days I wish I could just lay my head down and not go poking around in everything's business.
I would like one day to go by that there's nothing strange happening.
I swear this city is getting stranger and stranger. Stranger and stranger. Fine, I'll go take a look into this.
I appreciate it. Some of the girls won't go into the room now because of it.
It's a perfectly good room.
That's what I'm saying. But there's a whole superstition about the whole thing. Like people, some of the girls claim that they could hear humming while you were gone.
Humming.
Humming. Someone was humming a tune, obviously while they cleaned up the place, but
Hmm. Who was the closest? Who's
Anne Marie, her room is next door.
did they did anyone say anything about what tune or if it was just
Nope. I've left the door kind of open, hoping that whoever did this kind of reveals themselves, like comes back to the scene of the crime, that kind of thing.
Mhm.
Uh, But I haven't heard anything. The window's closed.
That is
No
so
one came in or
strange.
out.
I'll look into this. One of our one of our new friends is a bit of a spiritualist.
All right.
And they might be able to assuage that there was no ghost or
She holds up her hands. No one said ghost, so that came out of your lips, not mine.
It did, but they're acting suspicious about it. Usually that just means something supernatural, which usually to most types just makes them go ghost.
Right, right. But where I come from, no ghost has ever cleaned up my fucking room and left it smelling of lilacs and violets.
I know, but I'm trying to get our friend here to basically say there is nothing mystical or supernatural. Clearly someone did it. They're just not fessing up to it.
All right, I'll ask the girls again, see if anybody saw or did anything in the room.
Mm-hmm. I appreciate that. I'll get walks up here.
And while this is going on, Garrett, Ardyce, you can feel Garrett kind of come around and put his hand like on your elbow, and his other arm, his other hand on your wrist, and you just hear his voice. It's just like, I I can guide you to your seat, Miss Ardyce, if you need any help. You look like
Thank
you've
you
been
very
through
much.
a bit.
Yes, and I'm afraid I've really upset Kora. Would you have any recommendations on how to reprimand the situation?
I mean, if I can be frank with you, Miss
Mm-hmm.
Ardyce,
Mm-hmm. Always.
I don't think there's a day that Cora isn't angry at something.
I know, but she's never been upset with me.
Oh, first steps for everything.
She gives a very slight pout. Are you sure there's nothing that Cora would like that I could get, or some sort of gift? Anything? If I give Walks anything, who's might be a little upset with me as well, I feel like he's just gonna say he doesn't need anything material and throw it away.
He is right next to you. Just so you're aware.
I mind my business. Could be eavesdropping.
But he sits you down, he sits down next to you. You can feel his presence in the seat next to you.
Mhm.
'Cause I've known her for a while now, and I think the only real thing that gets her through anything troubling these days is just that bit of Greek fire water she likes.
Greek firewater. Where does one acquire this?
I mean, we special order it for the bar just because of her.
Do you have any right now?
Yeah. We always try to have at least a bottle in reserve.
All right. Well, how do you prepare it?
I mean, I normally just pour it into a glass and give it to her. Uh, that's how you prepare most spirits.
Maybe we can add something like a slice of lemon and it would be very nice.
You hear him stand up as you ask him to add something to her drink,
Mm-hmm.
and you hear him walk around the bar. Miss Hart is like, I'm gonna have to warn you about adding anything to that woman's drinks. She is particular.
And then Artist gasps very audibly, what about a flower that we could eat and put it on top? Like, this is the biggest
Mhm.
thing that she's ever thought of. Is how to make a libation more festive.
He brings down his hand on the bar and just like, Miss Artist, if you find yourself a flower you can eat, I will happily put that in a cup for her, and tell her gladly that it was your idea to do that.
Okay, she swings around and kind of just shouts for Walks. I know she probably thinks that I'm very far.
Mhm.
So Walks, indulge her, please. She thinks you're far away. Walks,
There are many edible flowers.
Okay, let's go find one, please. Can you please take me to go find one? Because I wouldn't know the difference.
This is not a good idea.
Why? Why is it not a good idea?
The last time you went out looking for something.
No, I'm saying with you. I'm saying with you.
Hmm.
Not by myself, because I wouldn't be able to pick the flower anyways, but I could smell it, and then I could remember next time. Walks. Walks.
Let's wait for Kora to get back down.
Walks. Walks. No! It's a surprise!
Have you smelled her firewater?
I have not. She takes a sniff of the firewater. What is it exactly?
Uzo.
It's Uzu?
Uzo.
Okay. Well, she keeps a very straight face.
It's licorice. Black licorice flavor.
That's disgusting.
It really is.
Well, as lovely as it already smells, Walks, I'm sure we could find one flower, and it won't be far, and we'll be right back, and she's not even here, so we should go quickly. And she starts to push, not towards the right way, but she starts to push Walks a little bit. Kind of like, hurry, 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 hurry.
It's snowing outside. It's snowing outside. Wait, wasn't it snowing outside?
It was. It was starting to flurry.
It's snowing outside. There will be no flowers to find.
She looks over at Garrett. Do we have any potted plants in here?
Oh, we have several potted plants that we use for like cooking utensils, like thyme and parsley and the sort. But you know, I don't think any of that's going to be conducive to a good relationship with Uzo.
She's trying to contain her frustration. There has to be a way that I could make this a slightly better fire water than it has been previously. Garrett, I need you to brainstorm with me. This is serious. I can't go outside. It's snowing.
Have you drank the fire water, Miss Ardyce?
I have not drank the fire water, but I have drank whiskey, and it should be similar.
Oh yeah, sure. And you hear a little glug glug of liquid. And he grabs your hand and he puts a glass in. It's like you can tell it's a lowball glass.
Okay.
And swishing it around, it's maybe a half a finger's height of liquor.
Okay.
He goes, that is the smallest taste that I can give you. But why don't you get a feel for it in your mouth, so you can try to figure out if this is something that needs anything else, because I don't think it does.
Perhaps the best way to enhance her drinking it would be to drink it with her.
Yes, absolutely. Garrett, can we please have another one? A small taste. We don't need a big one. We don't need to take any of Kora's special spirit. Spirit?
Sure.
No.
Sure.
Firewater.
Yeah. And this will be for all three of you then?
All three of us?
Sure.
Right. And he brings out two more glasses. Kora, you see as you're coming out onto the balcony that Garrett is pouring two more glasses of Uzo and putting them in front of Ardyce.
What are you doing? She kind of shouts that.
And Garrett just points at her.
Points at me?
Yep.
Hummingbird.
Kora,
Just goes walking downstairs.
I am trying to create a more palatable version of the firewater with perhaps an edible flower or a lime, or I don't know. I was just trying to make it fancy so that you could enjoy it more, since today was a bit of a rough time.
Maybe you should try it first.
Okay, I'll try it.
There's
Walks?
definitely this look to the glasses and to Garrett that it's kind of that look of, this is going to end badly for them.
And it's not even a shot's worth. Like it is at best a third of a shot in each of the glasses.
All right. Everyone?
How can I roll to see how good I cover how terrible it is?
Oh,
Like, what do I do?
it's gonna be a rough roll for you.
Do it.
Well,
Do it. 10-sided, right?
sorry, dice.
How many?
It's gonna be 3,
All right. And what's the number?
8 or higher.
Let's fucking try.
You could try.
Absolutely not. That was all fails. It was the worst.
Oh,
2 10s and a 6.
botch?
It
2
did.
10s and a 6.
Yes.
You
Yes,
succeed.
Will.
You got 2 10s.
You got 2 10s.
2 10s. What is that? Wait, no. Oh, I'm sorry. Ones.
Oh.
Oh.
I'm so sorry.
Okay.
No.
That is
No.
completely different.
That's a
completely
botch.
Yep.
Yeah. I figured it would be.
So
My 10-sided die are weird. I'm sorry.
it's okay. All right. So yeah. Kora and Walks, the artist, just kind of slosh the cup one more time,
Mm-hmm.
nod, like this is the best idea she's ever heard, and the moment you see any activity in her throat of a swallow, everything comes right back up.
Whoa.
Projectile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's definitely the thing. Cora is definitely doing the back up out of the splash zone.
Please don't tell me anyone is in the splash zone.
Garrett.
Is no.
Why didn't you move?
You hear the stumble back, the hit against the cabinet, and the bottles kind of jiggle as he just goes off. Oh.
She immediately covers her mouth with her hands.
Yeah,
It's like a train wreck. He just couldn't look away.
This is my cue to turn in for the night.
I'm so sorry. She immediately takes out her handkerchief and hands it over to Garrett. Immediately.
Does not.
And kind of gets her
just walk away.
Well,
Cora just grabs a rag and starts cleaning.
Ardyce helps where she literally can, but
there's definitely this kind of head shake.
I did not enjoy your beverage. I am so sorry.
It's an acquired taste.
I can see that. It's very it's very good in its own way.
You don't have to lie.
No, I can see how somebody would enjoy the burning. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. Walks?
Yes.
While I have a spare moment that's not internal screaming right now, would you mind going up to Pepe's old room? Someone cleaned it up.
You want me to get them to clean this up?
No, someone cleaned Pepe's room. Like, it is cleaned.
Well, don't you typically clean your rooms?
Yeah, but that was Pepe's room. Nobody was cleaning it. Because it was his room. He was refusing to let anyone clean it.
Is he so stubborn?
Nobody went in since he left?
Nobody saw anyone. So, and it smells like flowers.
You think it's a spirit?
I just want to try and assuage our girls that it's not something like that. That someone clearly did this and they're just not fessing up.
Don't know why he left. Could very well have been something super. I'll go check right away.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And there's definitely that kind of, he's on his way up, and it's definitely that kind of, there's like a little bit of relaxedness to the shoulders of someone who's competent, someone who's listening. And it's just physical, so hence why Kora thinks she can get away with that kind of moment of reprieve.
Oh, of course. And even once he goes upstairs, Layla counters and comes downstairs, and you see her kind of start to urge whoever's hanging out to just kind of shit or get off the pot. And the two guys that are there just kind of put their money down for their drinks and make their way out. So, leaving you and Ardyce alone in the bar. But you notice that Layla kind of has a moment where she stops outside of Garrett's room, but then continues on to her room.
Should I feel like I should go apologize to Garrett more thoroughly since I had the reaction to your water.
Garrett will be fine. He probably just needs a little bit of time.
Okay, I'm not good at that.
I can tell. And look, and she kind of grabs Ardyce by the shoulders. It's gently, it's almost motherly, a little bit. Look, what happened today wasn't your fault. Yes, you went out alone, and you shouldn't have, but no, under normal circumstances, I believe you would have been completely fine.
But it wouldn't have happened if I didn't walk out on my own.
And if what they said is true, that doesn't matter. You're your own person.
I understand what you're saying, but it doesn't change how I feel internally.
I know. It doesn't get easier.
No.
It gets further and further away, and you think you're over it, and then it comes back up.
That does
In
seem to
honest
happen.
ways.
I thought I was far enough.
And Kora's grabbing the bottle of ouzo and pouring her basically 3 fingers. We're going for a nice big glass now.
Ardyce hears the stream and how it doesn't like stop after a couple of glugs.
And
Ardyce is like,
the whiff of black licorice just really comes up.
Are you sure that's the amount that you would like to ingest?
Well, the amount I would like to ingest would be the whole bottle.
And she gags just slightly and then covers her mouth immediately. Oh. Well, I guess you don't need any enhancers for your drink.
The drink itself is an enhancer, Ardyce. It reminds me of home.
I understand that.
Specifically the good parts of home.
Now, in any case, is there anything that I could do to make Garrett feel better while giving him space? What does he like? What are things that he enjoys?
Well, he enjoys card tricks.
All right. And she immediately goes to her room to see if she packed any sort of, I don't know, tactile fucking cards or anything. I don't think she realizes what card tricks are because she has not seen a full deck of them. So she may just have random cards with her. So she immediately goes upstairs to look for things. She's like, be right back.
Business cards, birthday cards.
Whatever cards she has, she is going to go find.
Yeah. It is basically just like cards with a raised artistic rendering of an animal and then the raised lettering of that animal's spelling. So it's just like, it's very much cards intended for children learning.
Okay.
But that for some reason have a tactile, very much
so she can feel what they are.
Yeah, calming emotion on her. And while you go running up, walks into what used to be Pepe's room, and it is clean.
Spiritually,
that is yet to be found, but physically, it is clean. It smells of lilacs and violets.
Is that some combination I've smelled before?
I don't think you have. I think maybe you've smelled them individually, never together.
It definitely doesn't smell like Pepe.
No.
So I'll just take some time to look, in corners, under the bed, behind furniture, wherever spirits might be hiding.
Okay. You go looking for what you know of spirits. And you open the closet, you go under the bed, you check the footlocker, and there's a moment where you kind of look out and you notice the windows frosted over. And that the room is much colder. Much colder all of a sudden than when you walked in. The window's closed. There's no possible way for the outside to have matched the inside so quickly.
I'm on my guard for shenanigans. Spiritual. I'll call out in some spirit speak. Okay. Hello? Anybody there?
Give me a perception and alertness. 7.
What's the difficulty?
7. So 7 or higher.
With 7 dice as well, that'll be a 1 success.
Wow. You start using your spirit speech to kind of call out the spirits you expect to be in this kind of place, like a weaver spirit, an air spirit, a snow spirit. Nothing responds. And as you're turning to leave, in the small mirror on the kind of settee in the corner, you notice that standing behind you is what looks to be a woman in a nun's garb.
Is this someone I recognize?
Oh. She's older, maternal, troubled from her expression.
Why are you here? Try my best to make eye contact with this thing that's. Is it kind of just like out of? It's only in the mirror that I see her.
Yeah, if you turn around, she's not there.
Oh, I'm not gonna turn no around. She might be gone forever. I know how spirits work.
Yeah. If you try to angle yourself so you can try to see out of the corner of your eye where she would be, there's nothing there.
Been in that mirror.
but in the mirror, he is definitely there. She hasn't moved as you've kind of shifted over. And you can see as you shift over, her hands are up in a prayer position, and she's got a rosary kind of wrapped around her hands.
Were you from the mission?
Her mouth moves, but no sound makes it to you.
I start to prep stuff for well, no, I'll take a closer look to her with that unbroken stare. Try to get as many details as I might, because this could be someone I know, someone
Um,
from Pepe, or someone from Ardyce.
she
I'll have these back.
She sees you getting closer to the mirror so that you can make out more of her details. And as she takes a step forward, you see she suddenly looks to the side. The little bit of the habit kind of opens up, and you can see a couple strands of what looks to be brown hair tumble out. And then she looks back at you. There are these pitch black ears that have started to kind of come down her face. And then she vanishes. And the coldness vanishes with her, and the window starts to thaw.
So I'll prep for a rite of cleansing,
Right?
and that'll just take some time. I'll need to go downstairs and get some water,
Yeah.
something to burn. I'll tell Kora, cleansing. Get
When you
that taint
come
out.
back, you can see that there are initials kind of breathed into the window. It's two J's.
Kora, there's definitely someone there. Definitely a spirit. Gone now. I don't know if for good, but it's time. I'm going to do a cleansing rite. Keep her away.
Mm-hmm.
Artist left to her room, right?
Yeah, she went up to her room trying to find playing cards.
He comes
Need to
down
ask.
by the time that this conversation's happening.
It was a nun.
A nun.
Uh
Holy ladies in black and white.
oh. Why are we talking about that?
There was a spirit of a nun in Pepe's room.
What did it look like?
A spirit of a nun.
Well, yes, but what did her face look like?
She was older,
Okay.
brown hair, holding a rosary, and
Mm-hmm.
there was writing in the window in frost saying JJ.
Hmm.
Well, I've met a lot of nuns with brown hair. JJ.
That's Pepe's name, right?
Oh, it must be.
His given name.
Mm-hmm. I believe so.
You didn't know a nun, JJ?
Sorry, Teller, did I know this particular nun? I feel like I knew a lot of nuns.
There were a lot of nuns, but none whose name started with J.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Hmm.
I'm not familiar.
Okay.
Was she scary?
She was as many spirits are. Definitely a person corrupted in some way, stuck in some way. Black tears running down her
Black
face.
tears.
She cleaned his room, maybe, so there could be that.
Do you think this has anything to do with his disappearance?
I think it has to. It's either that or this thing has been following him.
Cleaning up after his messes, maybe.
Maybe.
That's frightening.
Well, the room smelled lovely.
It did smell nice. But why?
Nothing evil is happening.
I disagree. Pepe's missing. I would say that that's not necessarily good. Maybe not evil, but not good.
He left with his stuff.
I understand, but I still feel like it must have been forced, because he wouldn't have just left. There's like a little foot stomp at the end of that sentence. The tiniest rabbit foot stomp.
I'm gonna take the glass with the sliver of ouzo that was Ardyce's, and go around the bar and get a glass of water, and go back upstairs, start the ritual cleanse.
Okay.
Do my circling around the thing. I can actually mechanically spend gnosis to do something with this, but I don't know if that's only if there's actually taint that I'm fighting.
That would actually, if there's taint, you would have to use a gnosis point.
Okay.
There is none. Kora manages to really
It just smells weird.
watch out for her bar. The moment you start kind of performing your ritual, you smell that the room has shifted. And now it smells of the same incense you've smelled coming out of the church sometimes. You can hear a humming that is almost pastoral nature.
Would either of them have wanted to witness this?
Them.
I mean, Cora would because it's her place.
Okay.
I mean, I'm licensed and bonded, but you should still oversee my.
Yep. And she does have her glass of ouzo with her.
Mm.
It's one of those things she's probably drank about half, refilled it, and is going up there.
Ardyce will follow too.
Okay. The artist will smell that very keenly. You'll hear that as well.
And she can say that audibly too. This smells exactly like the outside of the church.
I'll continue with my circling around the room, seeing the changing.
There is a moment where the scent dies out. The humming goes with it. And the room goes quiet.
I think it's done.
Well, if you think it's done, I trust you.
I don't know if it'll keep away, but the effect that it had here has been removed.
Well, maybe we can figure out what's going on with the spirit, and then maybe it'll lead us to Pepe.
I would like that very much.
I know you would, Hummingbird.
It feels calmer in here, Walks.
Perhaps you could ask at the church if they
I
know.
can.
Maybe it's from the town and not related to Pepe.
It's possible.
It's not a bad idea, Kora.
I'll take you over there tomorrow and
What day is it today?
It is Saturday, I believe.
Tomorrow on Sunday, we're gonna go to church.
yes.
Yes!
Go
And
to
Kora's
church.
coming with me, and Wax is coming with me. Kora, is that a big swing? Right, Wax? Because we have to find out together, and we could stay for the rest of the time.
Well, I don't know if they'll want to.
Oh, you're always welcome. Sanctuary, you can stay there. It's fine. And then we'll be there together, and I can show you my favorite passages.
Actually, no, tomorrow would be Saturday.
Well, we can go for
It was Friday. It's after midnight now, so it is technically Saturday now. But I think she meant tomorrow as in the daytime version of the day.
Yeah.
Well, there might be a nighttime mass on Saturdays. You know, we can get frisky and go on Saturday instead of Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Slow down there. No cuddling in public.
I was just talking about church walks. Please.
And I know that's a place where you fit in, but it's definitely not for my people.
I can hold your hand the entire time. Are you also drinking? Everyone's drinking?
I can almost see Cora's just there, and she pulls the bottle and just refills Lux's glass. And she's trying to do it semi-quietly to keep Ardyce out of the...
Very quiet glugs of liquor being poured behind you.
Kora, could you direct me to Garrett's room, please?
Are you...
I have a gift for him.
Okay. And Kora does direct Ardyce, like, gently guides, and does just a little knock.
I'll turn in for the night.
Okay.
And that's when Kora steps back like 3 feet. So it's just Ardyce standing in front of the door.
The door opens and Garrett is in his pajamas. Got
Garrett?
a throw rug over himself. It's Ardyce, rather late.
I apologize. But I wanted to give you something, since there was an incident with the firewater. So here, and she pulls out one of the little cards, and it's the card of the owl. And she hands it to him, and she says, I chose this one because you're the most observant, and you're very cunning, and it's a horned owl, so it has a little ears, and it's my favorite because it has little notches on the top, and I don't know what the owl's face looks like, but I can imagine that it looks like a silly little devil. And I would like to give it to you.
He looks at it, he's just like, that's very nice of you, man. I appreciate it. Excuse me. And you hear a female voice from inside the room. Garrett, love, who is that?
Well, good night. She immediately books it.
Okay.
Immediately books it.
Okay. And you hear, oh, that's just, and the door closes.
Good night, Kora.
Good night, Ardyce.
I'm kind of red. She's like going up to her bedroom.
No.
Cora's
Kora's there with a couple of girls left over. So
Mm-hmm.
last one.
Mm-hmm. Cora does take a deep breath, finishes her drink, and she's sitting there for a moment, kind of staring at the glass. Just a little bit. And it's just flashes from the night going through her head. About how Ardyce almost died, how she didn't do enough. She wasn't able to fully protect her pack. And the asshole is over at the gold digger right now. I think it's one of those things where she's holding the glass, thinking about it, and accidentally shatters it in her hand with how angry she is. She just kind of shakes it and starts picking the glass out of the hand and getting it all cleaned and wrapped. And then she goes to bed.
The next day, everybody wakes up. Most have slept in. There are moments where Ardyce will feel like someone is sitting on the bed with them. But there's just this kind of reassuring arm rub.
This is new, correct?
Yeah, no one has done this before.
So that would make her sit up immediately. And this is in the middle of the night?
Mhm.
Okay. She reaches out with her hand and kind of just like flails about quickly because she's not going to think clearly if she's in the middle of waking up.
Yeah, you don't come in contact with anything.
Okay. She lays back down and tries to go to sleep, but I don't think this is not like she doesn't really have touch very often in her, especially in her bed, but like in life in general. I doubt that she would be able to sleep throughout the night soundly.
Okay.
Somebody's fucking
Yeah.
touching her.
You you lie back down and you kind of shift your feet over to where you felt the weight on your bed.
Mhm.
And there is a divot, like if somebody's still sitting there.
She kind of quickly jumps out of bed, takes the blanket off to see if there's any resistance, like if somebody's on top of the blanket or nope. Okay. Okay. Who is it? And she says it very quickly, and she tries to be hushed, but I doubt that that's how it came out.
You don't hear anything.
She's calculating whether she should go bother Cora or if she should just stay in the room. She tries to go into bed one more time and lay down. But very stiffly.
It's like a straight up and down board.
Mm-hmm.
Like I imagine you with like your hands crossed, like, your chin. Yeah,
Like
no,
vampire
you.
style.
Yeah. Like you defiantly go back to bed, like you don't want anything touching you.
Mm-hmm.
What you imagine is staring straight up at the ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
And after a while, your exhaustion just finally catches up with you, and you start to doze off. But you don't feel any more tactile pushes against you.
No more.
When you wake up, though, you will wake up to something kind of resting in your open palm. And as you close your fingers around it and move it in your hand, you feel a rosary.
What is it made out of? Like,
Feels almost like wood. It's very smooth.
and this is not mine.
No.
I'm gonna smell the rosary. Does it smell like anything?
Lilacs. Small hint of violets.
How did this get here? She jumps up and without putting on like the proper garments, but I'm sure she has like a robe to throw over.
Yeah.
She kind of shuffles. I'm assuming this is very early in the morning that everyone else is sleeping because they do debauchery at night, and Ardyce goes to bed at a reasonable hour. Ardyce is shuffling her feet and heading straight to Walks's area.
Yep.
And very lightly taps on the door.
Is Walks a light sleeper?
How early is it?
Just after sunrise.
Yeah, the sun just rose.
Oh, I'll be up.
Okay.
Or just getting.
Right. Yeah. So as you're kind of stirring, coming to life, as the light has kind of washed into your room, you hear the softest of rapping at your door.
Go check.
You see Ardyce standing there in a robe in her pajamas.
What is it?
Walks, I need you to come to my room with me, please.
Okay.
And she tries to grab his hand, but if she grabs his arm or his elbow, she doesn't care. And she just walks to the room and enters. I've been touched all night by something that I haven't been able to touch back. And I found this. And then she's still like white knuckle close fisting it.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't mine.
At first, I'm just shocked because that sounds like a patron,
Mm-hmm.
Got into the wrong room. But
touching
I
in a
see the
house of
rosary.
ill repute? For
But
shame.
I couldn't touch them
The
back.
doors are clearly labeled. I recognize the rosary. It's the same one that I saw them ghosts.
Very similar to the one you saw the night before.
Do you know this rosary?
The nun had it.
And she like immediately hands it over to Walks. Okay.
I don't take possession of it.
So it just drops to the ground.
She goes and drops it on the floor, in front of me. I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa.
And then she gasps because she realizes that she dropped the rosary and like picks it up and immediately throws it on the bed.
We don't know what this is about.
I don't know either, but I woke up and this was in my hand, and last night it felt like somebody was with me the whole night and I couldn't touch them back. And I normally can if it's a real person, but now I feel very spooked out. And I don't like it.
Can I sense any spiritual disruption here?
Nothing. The room is not cold in any way, shape, or form. The window's not frosted over.
No taint squiggles coming off the rosary?
No taint squiggles coming off the rosary. Has not been around any taints at all.
Well,
no gooch marks
said it was
on it.
Catholic.
Touche.
So, perhaps we should move forward to going to the. Let's leave your room. Let's get you dressed.
and leave? Because do you want me to leave the room? And she'll immediately grab whatever she can to get dressed elsewhere. If you're telling her to leave because of a fucking ghost.
Yes, there. It's. I mean,
Okay.
Ardyce misses some things, but yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
She picks up the nearest dress, the nearest shoes, the nearest hairbrush, and she's like, "All right," and she skedaddles out of there.
And I'm just gonna close the door behind, and we'll, regather ourselves and close that door down.
What will happen? Oh, well, is there a way that we could guarantee that when I come back to sleep at night tonight, that how?
This is
Artist.
how we spend our day.
Okay.
Trying to make it safe to sleep in.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, let's start on the morning.
You're right. She goes into Walks' room and closes the door. Give me 1 moment to change. Lock you out of your own fucking room, but there's no ghosts in there.
That you know of.
That you know of.
Hey. Don't be fucking rude.
But yeah, you see Kora when you hear a little bit of this commotion going on, and when you come out of your room, you see
Why?
Ardyce going into Walks' room and just closing the door on him.
Gora walks up. It's one of those things she sees that happens is just kind of walking up to get right behind Walks and to be like, what's going on?
The spirit returned to Ardyce.
Mm.
It seems to be bound here, and not just to Pepe.
Fine. I'll take and we'll go to the church. We'll look it up. We'll ask.
And have perhaps heard the superstitions of your folk. Have any girls seen this kind of thing before?
Layla didn't say that any of them saw anything.
Right,
Just...
but since we have now seen what it is, they may know, or you may know, the local folklore.
Actually, that's a fair point.
Did a nun die in this building?
Storyteller, do I know any town legends or anything
Well,
about?
The town is not short on stories. However, regarding the church, the only story that you know is that the previous priest disappeared one night, just walked out into the forest, never returned, and that's why you now have Father Ignacio.
I mean, the only thing that I've heard weird about the church is the old shepherd just up and left once. That was before the new shepherd. But just walked out into the woods.
Perhaps the nun was before him.
It's possible. But maybe Father Ignacio might have some sort of records. I don't know anything about this church business. Or at least not this church, I should say.
I only know if they're intolerant.
They are that.
Ardyce comes out of the room fully dressed to say, Are we going now?
Would you like to go right now?
I would like to resolve this immediately. Yes, if that's possible. If the priests are awake. Kora, somebody touched me and I couldn't touch them back, and it scared me all night.
Her door was closed.
My door was closed. And then I woke up with a rosary in my hand that didn't smell like me, and I had to throw it on the bed because I dropped it on the ground by accident.
Yes, we should probably do this as soon as possible. And she turns, she does kind of that 180, and she is walking back to her room to get herself ready. And there might have been a thought that she was trying to do it lightly and discreetly at first, because she tried very, very earnestly to not make a lot of noise, but now we've got the full-on power walk going.
Thump, 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 thump.
Mm-hmm.
And it normally would have been some kind of bother to people who are sleeping in. But as you come out dressed for the day, you notice that all the girls are already downstairs. They're already like well into their breakfast, and you notice that Doc and Nurse Noble are attending to them. It must have slipped your mind that this is the monthly visit. He kind of holds up his hand as he sees you at the top of the stairs.
Oh. Hi, Doc.
I was wondering if I had to send the nurse up to go get you, or if you were just avoiding me for other reasons.
No, I would never avoid you, Doc. You provide an amazing service for me and my girls, so.
For the town. Well.
Mm-hmm. Before she heads down, she basically kind of looks at Walks and Ardyce. It's like, why don't y'all stay up here?
Okay.
I think it might be good to talk to Docs about what's happening as the warder.
Okay.
Let me know, Denny. Advising.
Of course. And I'll ask him also about the nun issue.
He finishes with the girl that he's with.
Mm-hmm.
He looks at you as he takes a piece of bacon off of his plate. You want me to look after the rest of them, or do you want to do your checkup?
Fine, we'll do mine, and then you'll look at the rest of them. I need to talk to you about something anyway. You've been here a long time in this town. Maybe you know something that I don't.
And he walks over to your office, kind of looks at the nurse, and the nurse looks at you. Is this something that you're going to need me for as well?
I don't think so. I'm pretty even-handed. I'm not gonna bite him. That's what you mean.
No. I want to know if my position would be useful.
Maybe you can come with just to get two opinions. Mm-hmm.
And both of them go with you into your office.
Yeah. Because I don't remember, is the nurse also Garu?
Yeah.
Okay.
Catcher. once inside the office, just puts the bag down to the side. He kind of
Mm-hmm.
stretches. All right. Well, what's the issue? How can I help?
There's a spirit of a nun.
Like a ghost?
Mm-hmm. Do you know anything about a nun that might have died tragically, or a nun that can't let go, or anything like this?
Uh,
I apologize for
that's
the
fine.
road noise.
That's fine. I was trying to see who had their mic up, and I was like, "Oh, it's just you." Uh,
She lives on the street. It's a fancy back.
yeah, you know.
Yeah, there's motorcycles during this time. Yeah,
Anyhow,
it makes sense.
up and down the Chattahoochee. Uh, but he cocks his head at you. He's just like, I haven't heard anything about a dead nun. I know that we got Strider came in a couple of nights ago. Ghosts usually follow Striders or are left in their wake. I could ask him to come in. He's staying at the cairn.
That would be nice, because it's been very odd. I've got my crescent moon looking into it as well, but very odd. They cleaned up Pepe's room.
It's odd.
Startled some of my girls, because obviously there was no one in the room, but it's practically spotless.
Huh. He looks at the nurse. You ever heard of something like that? She shakes her head. It has always been my understanding that it taxes them to affect the mortal coil.
Hmm.
With his hand on his chin, he's like, "You saying that this happened after your no moon took off?"
Mm-hmm.
I don't
By
know
the
why he took
way,
off.
by the way, we definitely have someone that knows how to use silver bullets in town now.
Do we?
There's somebody taking refuge in the Gilded Apple. Not the Gilded Apple, the Gold Digger.
Oh.
And she kind of lifts up her shirt a bit to show like the wounding from the gunshots.
Yeah, he gets in close to look at it, and he kind of pinches the side of it, and
Mm.
it's not painful, but you do have that kind of wince of the memory of the bullet, of the silver kind of just tearing through your flesh. And he looks at it, he's like, you want this to be a battle scar, or are you gonna heal over it?"
I'm probably going to heal over it. If
That looks like it did some damage.
super fast. So obviously not human.
From what I understand, one of the real owners of the gold digger is a leech. I believe Mr. Gentry is of the persuasion of those people. Um, but he's never exhibited speed that. We be looking at second.
Maybe. It was quite shocking, to be honest. They led some unkindly folk to my galliard. They were going to take her.
Take a Garu. A leech. What could they want with her?
I don't know. But I was going to die trying to protect her.
I'll see if I can put some birds at attention over at the gold digger then to see if I can hear anything. What are you doing about your no moon?
I was going to go and take some cursory looks. See if I can track him. But there's a good potential that he just left, which means he's a coward.
A good look for your pack.
No. And we could have used the help. He was inseparable from Ardyce, practically. So I don't know what happened.
Hope he comes back before the next moot, otherwise bad.
I know.
A lot of potential. A lot of people are whispering about your group, Kora. Do not give the alpha it out on. Will.
I will. I know. I'm trying my best over here, Doc. Some people don't want to listen. Other people are getting confused. And I feel like I'm very close to needing to take a trip outside for a few days. Just vent it all.
I know a nice little glade not too far to the east that you can just let yourself go for a bit. Might be the best option.
Yeah. Thanks. I don't want to take it out on anyone else, and we know how dangerous that kind of energy can be. So thank you. I'll actually go find that after we deal with going to the church and seeing if the church knows anything about this nun.
I'll draw you a map and I'll have that ready for you back.
Thanks.
But he
No.
grabs his bag, goes over to the door, opens it widely. He's like, "Well, yeah, you're a regular workhorse. Couldn't find anything wrong with you." Which one of you's next? And you see him go back over to the girls.
Yeah.
The nurse comes over and holds your hand for a moment. Okay.
She squeezes it just a little bit. It will. One way or the other.
Or the other.
All right.
But during this, what are Walks and Ardyce going to be doing?
During the conversation with the doctor.
See that the doctor and the nurse take Kora to her office. All the girls kind of just start whispering to each other and eating their breakfast and just gossiping.
Wherever Walks goes, Ardyce is going to try to keep like 2 inches of distance. Just because of the whole ghost situation. Yeah, no, literally. She can't fucking see Donald. So she needs to be as close as possible.
I understand. I wasn't
So
critical.
like you you take a step, and then she takes like 17 to make sure that she's right next to you. So wherever Walks decides that he wants to go is where Ardyce is going. She's just gonna circle him like a little orbit.
Just be out of the way of the girls. I'm
But yeah,
sort
but
of lost in some thought trying to figure out what to do about some of this ghostly shenanigans.
If we're standing, then she's kind of fidgeting her fingers. If we're sitting, then she'll be like doing that whole leg bounce thing that annoys the shit out of everyone.
But yeah, if you come downstairs, Garrett will motion for you to come over to the bar. He's pointing down at a couple empty plates, and just making the motion to like, do you want these filled?
Thank you.
Thank you, Garrett.
Doesn't say a
Once we
word.
get a
Does
quiet
bring you
moment,
plates.
I'd want to bring something up to our.
Kind of brings you your food, pats on the bar twice, and then kind of goes over. You see him grab a cup of coffee, and he heads over and sits down at the table with Layla.
We go over, or we're fairly alone now.
Yep.
The wrong end of the bar from the girls. This spirit has distracted us some from yesterday.
Yes. When I spit in Garrett's face? Or are you saying when I almost died? Because they were equally as mortifying.
Well, what we learned about.
Yep.
Where you from? And I was thinking, I've heard before of a rite that can be done to renounce tribe and take up.
Is that really?
We'd have to talk to someone. It's not anything before. But there's a rite of New Hope, I've heard it called, that someone I met formed on them leave behind the ways of the old world. The old world. Embrace.
I would be very interested in that.
You. It would involve taking up somebody else's tribe. So, perhaps Kora. But it's also a very personal thing to adopt somebody to their tribe. And I don't know if the Karen would even allow it, and it would require revealing what, because it would be very clear what tribe you're referencing. Do this.
I understand. And she kind of meekly sinks into the chair to think about it, and she outstretches a hand to kind of just squeeze Walks's. Thank you. I didn't know that was possible.
Well, I'm not sure if that tribe, or if you, because of your lineage, wants anything. But if they're going to keep coming, need a way at least hide like hair. Aside from giving up and cutting off.
Thank you. I'll think about it. And she's a little bit lost in thought afterwards.
Yep. You see the doctor come out of Cora's office and proclaim that she's as healthy as a horse, and go back over and continue examining the girls. Kora walks out, you can see that Ardyce and Walks are at the end of the bar. They each have a plate of food that they've kind of been pecking at. More Walks than Ardyce. Ardyce looks like he had a better morning.
Mm-hmm.
But you see
Sure.
Garrett. Garrett sees you come out, and he rushes over to the kitchen to grab you a plate.
Kora goes and sits next to Walks and Ardyce. There's just a gentle pat on Ardyce's shoulder, and it's like, you should eat your food. You need your strength.
This is as much as I could eat today.
Are you sure?
Mhm.
More for me then.
Garrett comes over with a plate, puts it down.
Mm-hmm.
Bill of health, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good. Well,
What
then go ahead
exactly
and
are they
6 day in
checking
life.
you for?
In this kind of business, there are several things that can come up from.
Or flop down.
Mm-hmm. And to protect everyone's health, we get checked out every month.
Okay. Good enough for me.
Yep. Didn't have to go into detail, which is exactly what Kora didn't want to do.
Nope. Yeah, like once Garrett sees that that's good enough for Ardyce, he's just like, ooh, and then starts going back to his plate.
I love the idea that Garrett and Kora both do it at the same time.
Yep. Dodge the bullet there.
Mm-hmm.
If only we could have dodged other bullets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ain't that the truth? That's gonna smart for a while.
Yep. But you eat your food. Days ahead of you. It is Saturday now.
All right.
How would you like to proceed?
Let's go to the church first. See if they know anything.
Church first.
And I'm sure Ardyce will get a kick out of it. She'll be so happy.
She's literally bouncing.
You go over to the church, and as you get over there, you see that there's a little bit of a crowd of at least like 6 or 7 people all gathered around the cemetery. Father is going through the burial rites. Someone. But he's wrapping up. It looks like.
That's unfortunate.
We live, we die.
There's a somber moment, and everyone starts to kind of like make their way out towards your direction. When they all see Walks, you see all of their faces turn to anger. There is a hatred. Even one of the women as they walk by just spits on the ground. But Father Ignacio Horizonte comes over. He has the Bible in his hand. He's got a rosary hanging off of his right wrist. Ah, Señorita Ardyce, good to see you.
She has a very big grin on her face.
It's very nice to see you, and you can feel his hand kind of come into yours and just cup it in both his hands.
Hello, Father.
Hello, welcome. Who are your friends?
I think that you've probably met Kora before, and she works at the beautiful inn that's called the Gilded Apple. And this is our friend Walks, and this is his first time in a church, I believe. So I wanted to bring him myself.
God welcomes all children, regardless of beliefs and history.
Hmm.
Now, what is Juan?
Her face falters for like a second, and then stays a big grin. He's off on an adventure at the moment.
Oh,
But I will drag him back here the moment he is in town again.
God watch over him and protect him in his travels. And
Thank you. I believe we have a couple of questions for you, if you wouldn't mind indulging us. I know it's been a somber morning. I apologize.
it's okay. It is unfortunate, but the Nesmiths have suffered a loss. Their youngest caught a bad case of something and tore the young man's lungs apart. It's unfortunate.
Oh my. That sounds horrific. I'm so sorry. I'll pray for them.
Thank you. Please come, sit. And he takes you over
Mhm.
to the steps to the church. How can I
Kora,
help you?
Off the ground.
Kora,
Mhm. Yes.
how should I ask the question about and then she's trying not to be spooked out. We have a bit of a situation in our midst, and we might need the help of your knowledge of this town.
Okay.
I don't know if you have any records of what the previous priests, nuns, anyone that was before you. But we're seeing some odd things over at the Gilded Apple.
Hmm. Um, as far as I know, and what I was told, there was one priest here before us, Father Matthew.
Hmm?
He was well liked by everyone, from what I understand, and unfortunately, his journal turns to ramblings towards the end of its life. But he does have several. He marks several times that he kept hearing a kind of humming. But the last night that he was here, he decided to follow it with source, and that was the night that he fortunately appeared.
Hmm.
Luckily, I have not heard anything akin to humming. I've been here, and you see him kind of lean back, and he knocks on the wooden frame door.
Well, I'm happy that you haven't heard humming near here. We have heard humming in the Gilded Apple. Pepe's room, because he was staying there with us, um, was cleaned mysteriously.
Hmm.
No one said they saw anything, but they did hear humming. And Walks, in fact, says that he saw something. A nun in the room.
I also experienced something last night, and and then I woke up with a rosary in my hand. I didn't bring it because I was a little flustered, but it smelled of violets and lilacs.
Interesting. I don't know what that could mean.
Mm.
None of the notes or journal entries from before uh, mention a nun. Wish I could be more help for you.
Oh, it's all right. Is there someone else we could ask?
um, the only other person that might know about the time before the previous father would be Mr. Gentry over at the Gold Digger. He was one of the first. It was him and his company that brought a lot of the people in the first place of
Hmm.
the conflict.
That's good to know. Cora, can we go there?
I think it wouldn't be safe.
But it's also not safe for me to go back in that room with the ghosts.
Did the ghost seem agitated by you? Why are you? I've never heard of a ghost that was aggressive. They always are looking to resolve some kind of issue that they are holding on to.
I I don't know if it was aggressive because I was sleeping.
Hmm.
I kept being caressed on my arms. And then it wouldn't stop sitting next to me, even though I really just did not like it.
Understand?
I guess it wasn't aggressive, but it wasn't welcomed either.
Did you make your feelings known to this entity?
No.
Sometimes that is all you need to do, Ardyce. Reclaim.
Yes, Father. I understand.
There are those who have fallen out of God's grace. Such have lost their ways. Are we not moving to them, put them back on the path, Ardyce?
You're correct. And she kind of um, nods her head and does her fidgeting motion with her hands.
And you can feel his hands reach out and grab your hands and bring them up. Puts them like right under his lips. Because you are the light that shines the darkness, or the shepherd that God has chosen. Ardyce, please understand that you have great power and a great responsibility to your Father, the Lord.
She inhales very deeply to thank you, Father. And her eyes are very wide, just intaking this information. Like, a priest has told me that I'm the light of the world.
And you can feel he lets go of your hands, and then you feel his thumb kind of come up and just do a cross on your forehead.
Mm-hmm.
We're blessed. We'll make sure that no evil befalls you with Ardyce.
Thank you, Father. She's absolutely dumbfounded, trying to figure out how she's ever going to not come back to church every day. Kora, did we answer your questions?
As best as we can.
Walks? Should we stay for Mass, or... I can't see you shaking your head, Donald.
I'm aware of this, but I don't feel like speaking in the presence of this charlatan, this peddler of addictions.
How about this, Ardyce? I will go to church with you tomorrow.
And a proper Mass? And you'll sit the whole way through, and then
No.
we'll stand on separate parts and we'll sing together in the hymns?
Yes.
Oh, my goodness. Walks?
As you saw, wouldn't be welcome.
And Ardyce tries to hold his hand. You would be welcomed with me always.
Sir.
Okay, Kora, you promise tomorrow.
Yes, I promised.
Tomorrow. Okay, and she's extremely giddy now.
And Cora's kind of walking back with them, kind of ushering and thanking the Father for his time. And it seems that this conversation put Ardyce at ease, which is really 9/10 of the battle.
You are all welcome here, regardless. Do not judge you or your kind for what you do. Very clearly looking at Walks.
Well, we appreciate that. And we will let you get back to your Saturday. And Cora is very, very much got Walks by the arm, kind of, and is turning the group around to keep walking. And as we're walking out, it's definitely, well, we can't go to the gold digger right now.
We can't, because... Oh, yes, you're correct. So is there a way that we can get him out?
Maybe send a bird.
Send a bird?
One of your girls.
Oh, because you call me a bird. So I thought you were saying to send me, and we know how that happened. So, yes, but Cora, you do call me a hummingbird.
Yes.
So you can understand my confusion, Walks.
I understand. You are my hummingbird.
Thank you.
And she has that it's that gentle pat on the head.
Does that... What kind of bird does that make you? Or Walks? Let's give each other birds. You gave me hummingbird. I'm going to give Walks one, and then Walks will give you one. And this is the little game that she's decided that she's going to do while we're walking back to the Gilded Apple. Walks, the bird that you are is... a falcon. Because you can't hear it most of the time, but it's very vigilant. And it is dangerous. You don't seem to see them until it's too late. All right, Walks, it's your turn. You're the falcon, I'm the hummingbird, and now you give one to Cora. And Pepe doesn't get one because he's not here, and I'm very mad.
Yeah, Walks, give Cora her bird.
Yeah. Give me my bird.
I was going to go with something like a hawk, but I'm not sure how big of a distinction there would be after saying falcon to say hawk.
Yeah, no, that wouldn't be different at all, and that doesn't suit Cora. Come on, there's only one right answer.
She's a Pegasus.
Pegasus.
They fly, yes.
They
They're not a bird.
they do fly.
It's not a bird that I have in any of my cards. Is this a bird that
It's
is a predator, or is it a bird that is a prey?
It's important to her
it's
and highly renowned spiritual.
mhm. It's aggressive, unyielding. It's pure freedom.
Oh, so it's a big bird.
I could tell you some stories about Pegasus.
I would love to hear stories about Pegasus. Pegasi? Pegasuses?
And there's this bit of a look on Cora's face as she says that. She's trying her best to make her voice sound happy,
Mm-hmm.
but there's like this kind of droop, and there's this very sadness that kind of fills Cora's face. But I would happily tell you all the stories I know about Pegasus.
Wonderful. I can't wait to hear them.
You go back to the Gilded Apple. The rest of the day goes by uneventfully. Sunday goes by uneventfully.
No, that was a big to do. That was a big event.
Oh yeah. You go to church. You take all of
With
them.
Cora.
They are suffering in
dressed
silence.
in her Sunday best.
Stop. What is it? Is
That
it
is
still
the
low
Sunday
cut?
best.
Yeah.
Of course it's low cut.
More so than usual.
Mm-hmm. That's
boy.
the truth. She is primed for titillation.
Mhm.
So
Ooh.
it's probably a lovely blue dress.
Mhm.
Kind of gives that, it's like a pastel-y sky blue. That's kind of what I'm thinking about, giving that kind of innocent feel. But you get to the cut. It's got buttons, and I think one button has been draped open suggestively.
Ooh.
And she's not wearing a corset on the outside. She's wearing a inside corset bustier style.
Right.
To where, the dress looks loose and flowy, but it's tight in all the appropriate places that it's supposed to be tight. And she's probably wearing a necklace to give them an excuse. Probably some cross that she has.
A statement
You're
piece.
100%. But yeah, everybody that recognizes Ardyce just kind of has a smile on their face. They sheepishly wave and then realize that they're waving to somebody that can't acknowledge their wave. And everyone kind of takes note of the fact that Cora and Walks of Spirits are here. And
Walks is not
I
there.
certainly did not go.
okay.
No.
Okay, I thought that you promised to go with them.
No.
No, I promised to go with her to try and save our good
He said,
crescent.
"Oh yes, you can go. You're welcome." And I'm like,
Gotcha.
no
Understood.
sell.
But they all take notice. The men take longer notices than the females, obviously.
I wonder why.
But everyone, out of everyone there that takes notice of you, you will notice that Lucius kind of has this look of impressiveness. He's very impressed with your attendance. Um, and even after the service, like he comes over, Miss Cora. As I live and breathe, I did not think that I would ever see you at one of these services.
Ardyce asked. I couldn't say no.
Storyteller, have I met Lucius before?
In passing,
In passing. Okay. So I wouldn't know his name.
probably not.
Okay. So I'll just hang on to um I'll hang on to Cora's arm.
How are you doing, Lucius?
I'm fine. I am excited about some of the news that should be coming out tomorrow. Got a new player in town, so I think we're gonna see a nice big boom as soon as this railroad track gets installed.
I know, I'm excited for that too. Lots more people.
Town needs it.
Mm-hmm. The town does need it. I mean, after all, we've got we've got 3 brothels trying to keep up business in the wintertime.
He smiles and he leans in. That's part of the news that's coming out tomorrow. Friend of Mr. Gentry's has arrived from the California territories.
Oh.
Man who's made his name in trading silver.
Silver.
He's taken over the Silver Star, of all things.
Ain't that ironic?
Life has a way of being funny.
Mm-hmm. And what is this gentleman from California's name?
Oh, Miss Cora, I don't believe that you got this information from me.
Of course, I'm not going to spread it around. I'm just curious. You know how it is. And she just purposefully leans forward and does a little shoulder tap.
Yep. The gentleman is the Right Honorable Mr. Wesley Ian Garter.
Ooh. Well, I'm sure.
Comes from old money.
Ooh. I am sure I will need to at least say hi and introduce myself tomorrow.
He, I've told him a little bit about all the other proprietors in the city.
Mm-hmm.
He is excited to see what a woman-owned business is doing.
Interesting. Well, I'm sure I can show him a thing or two.
Well, I know you can show him a thing or two, Miss Cora.
All right. I'm curious. Do you talk with Mr. Gentry often?
As often as I can. Man, a bit of a recluse these days. You need me to pass on a message?
I was wondering if you might do me the courtesy of that and seeing if maybe me and him could meet. I just want to ask him, since he's practically the founder of the town almost, some questions about its history.
Oh, he loves talking about town histories and waxing poetical about that, so I'm sure that he'll find some time for you. I'll make sure that he knows that as soon as I see him.
I appreciate that, Lucius.
You alright with him going to the Apple?
Yeah. He'll be safe there, I promise.
Okay.
I
But
just know that I get some odd stares when I go to his place, and
completely understandable. And he grabs your hand, kind of claps his other hand over it. It is a pleasure to see you. Please come out a little more often. You make this a little bit more enjoyable.
I'll try my best, Lucius. I'll try.
That's all I'm asking for. Uh, Unbeknownst to him, he nods in Ardyce's direction. Madam, nice pleasure to see you as well.
Mhm.
He leaves.
So you'll be coming with me more often? And she kind of leans her head on Cora's shoulder.
There's definitely that kind of look, like that.
It seems like you already
Maybe.
have
I have plenty of friends, Ardyce.
friends. But not church friends, except me.
That is true. You are my one church friend, and I guess Lucius could be another.
Oh my goodness. This is very exciting.
While this is happening in the morning, what is Walks up to? What did you set yourself up for morning?
I was going to go over to the parent.
Okay.
Uh, talk to the who would it be that is the Karen's spiritual leader?
That would be
He
the
didn't have a theurge.
they did not have a keeper of the rights.
Yeah, because I
Um
don't. They just not have one.
yeah, they don't have one. Um the closest thing would be the tail singer.
Okay, death something something. Tenna.
House for the Dead, the Uctena Galliard. He's there. He's around. He's in
Okay.
his lupus form.
Um, before entering the Karen, I would also go to Luke.
Yep.
That's most comfortable for her. And, I would try to ask about rights in the anybody can perform rights or anybody knows. Trying not to go just direct to the issue, but to see if maybe this is right.
Okay. Um yeah. Everybody kind of either points at Charlie or points at House for the Dead.
So then to Howl.
You go over to him. He sits up from his prone position. And as you see him stretching in his dog form, uh, every time that he leans forward or leans back, like you see the malleability in his flesh as he starts to shift down into his Hamid form. Um, Pretty simple clothing, good enough for the weather right now. And cracks his neck. How can I be of service to you?
I'll join him to thank you for taking. I need the help of the Karen form, but it's one that I don't. I was looking to find who knows rights perhaps to forming.
What are you looking to get out of the rite? Are you trying to summon a spirit? Are you trying to bound it? Trying to cleanse an area?
A new hope, a new
Hmm.
path forward.
That is very specific. Is this for someone in your pack?
To renounce their old ways, embrace new ones.
Unfortunately, the cairn does not have a keeper of the rites. The closest cairn that does is out west, in the California territories. It's called the Heart's Grove Cairn. Um, a moon bridge could be opened. It would take a favor or two of the Alpha.
Okay. Well, we'll consider proceed. That's a grave requirement, especially with our stand. Well, thank you.
Of course, here to help.
And then I'll just also check in with Charlie.
He is. You come up to him. You see him drop what he was working on. He is frazzled. You can see that he is worse for wear, and just kind of has been burning the candle at both ends.
You seem overtaxed.
Oh, yeah, just catching up, trying to make myself useful for the cairn. To be the only theurge in the area, aside from you.
They have so many needs.
Of need. So little of me to go around.
Well, perhaps I could help out some. And
Great.
I'll just take some time with sure what the most menial things to just give Charlie a little hand with the chore.
Okay.
Because I know they'll be at mass for. Well, Cora said it would be 6-7 hours.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Good
She's
portion of the day.
Greek Orthodox.
It's a good portion of the day. So if you leave by sundown, you should be fine. But yeah, you help out Charlie. He is ecstatic to have the help. And you see a lot of the other guru are more um more amicable to ask you to help. It seems that Charlie's not the best, but he is trying. You help him out. A lot of the what would have taken him a couple of days to do kind of gets knocked out of the way. Few hours that you're there, um, and everybody kind of meets back up at the Gilded Apple. You exchange information, uh, and the next day, all of you are awoken very early in the morning. Uh, there is fanfare, there is music, there is this full band of brass and winds, uh, string instruments. And as everybody takes to the streets, you can see that the circus has arrived. And this is where we will pick up episode. So, as always, thank you guys for being a part of this. Thank you for joining us in the audience. It's always been a pleasure. As always, I want to give you guys a chance to plug whatever you're into. So starting with Donald, do you want to be found on the internet? Where can people find you, and what are you doing with your
Nope.
life? Nope.
Not this week.
Mm,
This is what I do on the internet. So,
yeah.
McStabber Studios for Will's next thing.
Yeah.
Our storyteller, being part of the story.
Ray, what are you up to? Where can people find you on the interwebs?
I'm at Ray of Moonlight on Instagram, and I don't know. Hopefully, I'm just gonna go on vacation. So just like a bunch of my selfies. How about that? Get fucked. I'm ready to go.
Ready to go.
Ready to go.
Nigga, where can people find you? What are you up to? The interwebs.
Right now, this is the only particular thing that I'm doing. I'm on Twitter under @thesquishybear. Yep. And you can on occasion find me in random Twitch streams, so like Emporium for the Wayward Gamer, McStabber Studios. It's been a long time, but I did do some stuff on Onyx Path.
You have.
Yep.
All right. So as always, thank you guys again for letting me tell my story, for being part of that. And thank you guys for being part of the audience. As always, we take mental health very seriously on the channel, so please know that it is okay to not be okay. But if you're not feeling okay, there are resources going up. If you're watching live on the Twitch chat, they'll be in the description box if you're watching on YouTube later. But there are phone numbers out there because people want to help you. So just know that there are people out there that want to help, that can help. And so you have resources at your disposal. So please know that you are not in this alone. And so if you feel like you need help, know that there are resources out there to help you. If you're not in the United States, there's a link going up so you can find the resources closest to you. You know, we went through a little bit of a dark period there. Some of us made it, some of us didn't. I'd like to make sure that all of you stick around for the long haul. So if you feel like you need help, please know that you have resources out there for you. As always, Tuesdays are for either Werewolf the Wild West, like you saw tonight, or Legend of the Five Rings, like you'll see next week. Every other Thursday, we're doing a 7th Sea campaign, and then Mondays are for Vampire the Masquerade. It is a 2-part story. We're sharing the same city between an Anarch coterie and a Camarilla coterie, so that is a little bit of its own fun. So we try to have something out here for everyone to kind of come in and enjoy. But as always, please take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and see you when we see you. Have a good night, everybody. Bye.